Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to dive into a topic that honestly keeps so many parents up at night, paying for education. Now, did you know that starting a plan today could literally make a college education a stress-free reality for your child tomorrow? That is exactly what we're focusing on today. We're going to explore how we can secure your child's future by opening a Michigan 529 college savings plan. Whether you're a total novice to finance or a seasoned saver, we're going to uncover exactly how this works and discover why it is such a massive game changer for families.
And hey, just to grab your attention right out of the gate, starting a plan today doesn't just secure their educational future, it can actually earn you up to a $10,000 state tax deduction if you're a married joint filer in the state of Michigan. Single filers, don't worry, you get a great benefit too, up to a $5,000 deduction. So this isn't just about saving for them down the road, it's about keeping more of your hard-earned money in your pocket right now.
So, here is our roadmap for today's Explainer. We'll cover understanding 529 plans, evaluating Michigan's specific options, a step-by-step guide to opening an account, managing and maximizing your funds, avoiding common pitfalls, and finally, a quick conclusion and disclaimer.
All right, Section 1, Understanding 529 Plans. Let's lay down the foundation.
Before we get into Michigan's specific offerings, we really need to define what these accounts actually are. So, a 529 plan, which is just named after Section 529 of the Internal Revenue Code, is at its core simply an investment account. But it is a very special type of investment account. It's tax-advantaged. What that means for you is your earnings grow completely federal and state tax-free as long as the money is used for qualified education expenses. I mean, imagine investing your money, watching it grow over 10 or 15 years, and then never paying a single dime to the taxman on that growth when tuition comes due. It's honestly like a legal cheat code for college savings.
And this builds into some incredible flexibility. What's brilliant about this is that absolutely anyone can open an account. You don't have to be the parent. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, or even family friends can set one up and name any individual as the beneficiary. You can even name yourself. Plus, the contribution limits are just enormous. You can keep contributing until the account reaches a massive maximum balance of $500,000 per beneficiary across all Michigan plans. That is a huge bucket to fill.
Moving on to Section 2, Evaluating Michigan's 3 unique plans. Now that we know the basics, we need to figure out the best fit. Michigan doesn't just offer one basic, one-size-fits-all plan. They actually offer 3 incredibly unique programs. You essentially have 2 broad categories of choices here: a savings plan or a prepaid plan. The savings plans, which include the Michigan Education Savings Program, or MESP, and the MI 529 Advisor Plan, MIP, well, they work by investing your money in the market, so your growth depends on market performance. On the flip side, you have the Michigan Education Trust, or MET. This is a prepaid plan guaranteed by the state. It allows you to essentially pre-purchase future college tuition at today's rates, completely locking in the cost and protecting you from future tuition inflation. Breaking down your 3 options side by side really reveals the clear distinctions. The MSP is your direct sold, do-it-yourself option. It's got extremely low fees, ranging from 0 to just 0.135%. The MAP plan, on the other hand, is if you want a professional financial advisor to manage the investments for you, though keep in mind, that does come with higher fees. Now, neither of those require Michigan residency. Finally, the MET prepaid plan requires the beneficiary to be a Michigan resident at enrollment. That one is your go-to if you just want to completely eliminate the anxiety of guessing how much college will cost in a decade.
Okay, Section 3, our step-by-step guide to actually opening an account. We're going to focus on the MESP direct sold account for a minute, since it's the most common DIY option, and the actual setup process is incredibly straightforward. You might think setting up a tax-advantaged investment account requires, a giant stack of paperwork, but you can literally do this online in less than 15 minutes. Step 1, just gather up the Social Security or tax ID numbers and dates of birth for yourself and your beneficiary. Step 2, head right over to msaves.com to enroll. And Step 3, make your initial contribution. The barrier to entry here is delightfully low. You can kick things off with a minimum contribution of only $25 per investment portfolio. Easy, right?
Next up, Section 4, Managing and Maximizing Your Plan.
Setting up the account is really just the beginning. Once your account is open, the crucial point is knowing how to manage and maximize those funds efficiently so you get the absolute most out of every single dollar. The whole magic of the 529 plan relies on keeping your earnings totally tax-free. But to do that, your withdrawals must be spent on what the IRS officially categorizes as qualified higher education expenses. If you spend it on the wrong things, well, you lose those incredible tax benefits.
What's really fascinating, though, is how broad the definition of qualified has become recently. It doesn't just mean college tuition, fees, books, and dorms anymore. Recent changes mean it also covers K-12 public, private, or religious school tuition up to $10,000 per year. It also covers expenses for registered and certified apprenticeship programs. It can even be used to pay down qualified student loans, up to a lifetime limit of $10,000 per individual. That kind of flexibility is just phenomenal.
So how do you actually maximize that growth over time? Well, first, automate your savings. You can set up a payroll direct deposit for as little as $15 a pay period. Out of sight, out of mind. Second, always remember to claim your Michigan state tax deduction every single year. Again, that's up to $10,000 for joint filers. And finally, utilize the gifting rules. Encourage grandparents or family to gift funds for birthdays or holidays. By 2026, the annual exclusion limit for tax-free gifting is $19,000 per person. That is a massive way to accelerate your child's education fund.
All right, Section 5, Avoiding Common Pitfalls.
Look, it's not a free-for-all to simply park your money. There are strict rules governing these accounts, and mismanaging your withdrawals is by far the single most common and, frankly, costly pitfall we see. You have to be hyper-aware of the difference between a qualified withdrawal, which we just discussed, and a non-qualified withdrawal. A qualified withdrawal pays for education. A non-qualified withdrawal is when you take that money out for literally anything else, a vacation, a down payment on a car, or even an unrelated emergency.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is understanding the penalty. If you pull money out for a non-qualified expense, the hammer comes down. Not only will you have to pay federal and state income taxes on the earnings portion of that withdrawal, but you're also going to get hit with a painful 10% federal penalty tax on those earnings. The government wants to make absolutely sure this money is used for education, and they will penalize you for sure if it isn't.
However, there is some good news. There are a few specific exceptions to that 10% penalty. For instance, what if your child is just brilliant and gets a full-ride scholarship? Or what if they decide to attend a U.S. military academy? Or, in the unfortunate event of a permanent disability or death of the beneficiary? In those specific cases, you can withdraw the funds, and while you will still owe income tax on the earnings, the 10% penalty is completely waived. Finally, Section 6. Conclusion and disclaimer.
We have covered a lot of ground today, from the types of plans to making the absolute most of your investments. Here's the bottom line. By choosing between Michigan's MESP, MAP, or MET plans, and starting with as little as $25 today, you are actively turning the overwhelming, daunting cost of higher education into a manageable, stress-free reality. You're leveraging tax-free growth and incredible state tax deductions to build a solid bridge to their future. It's not just about the money, guys. It's about peace of mind.
Now, as always, while we've laid out the facts and the structure of these incredible tools, everyone's financial and tax situation is unique. Please always consult a certified financial advisor or tax professional before making any investment decisions to ensure you're tailoring these 529 plans to your specific family needs and maximizing your potential benefits. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I'm going to leave you with this final thought. What could your child achieve if they stepped into adulthood completely unburdened by student debt? The choice is yours. See you next time.